Hi, I'm Marco, and today I'm going to show you how to start a wood-burning fireplace in the quickest, easiest, and cleanest way that I know, and I've done this probably tons of times. So, there's my fireplace. There's my kindling, tree branches for now. There's my mostly split wood. I like wood that's at least a year old. The drier the better. Here's how I'm going to get stuff started. I'm going to ignite one of these, basically like a little candle. You ignite it, it'll burn for about 10 to 15 minutes, enough time to get your kindling going and eventually your logs. That's what it looks like. It's a little bit of a waxy substance with what looks like kind of cardboard or something like that. Here's a little close-up. Extra flame. Burns 10 to 13 minutes, 48 cubes. Costs a few dollars. It's worth it in my opinion. It makes life way more easier. I like to get things started with my lighter. Little propane torch. It's inexpensive and much more powerful than a regular lighter. You could use one of these, but the torch is just much more powerful. Lasts forever. Very long time. Tons of fuels. So I'm going to put together some stuff to get going. Put one of these guys at the bottom. I'm gonna grab, make a little tabletop for our little cube dude. He's gonna sit there like that. I'm gonna try to surround this the little cube with a few pieces of kindling. And I like to put these small pieces of kindling directly above the cube so that it's the first thing that the flame hits. And I try to keep the smaller pieces at the bottom because they get going easier. And the bigger pieces on above, once the little guys get going, then eventually that'll help to get the bigger pieces going. And I'll top that off with one of these logs, and I prefer to grab one of the smaller pieces, you know, because they get going easier. The bigger, heavier the piece, you know, like this one, you want to put that on top like maybe an hour later when the fire is more established, because these guys are they're more difficult to get going. So I like to use like a lightweight piece like one of these, because we're just starting out. There's not too much heat. We want to burn what's easy to burn first. So that's kind of how it looks like. Try to surround everything as much as possible to kind of contain the heat, but not so tightly that air can't get in. We want to surround it to contain the heat, but get some air in. I make sure at the bottom over here, there's a little bit of opening. I kind of move some of the old ashes out of the way so it can kind of continue to get air under here as well. That's what it looks like when it's all done. At this point in time, I try to keep in mind when I light this thing, I don't want to have a whole bunch of smoke pour out and fill my home with a whole bunch of smoke. Then I gotta run to open the windows, turn off the smoke alarm and stuff. I don't need to do that. There's a quick fix to that. Just remember the way the air flows. The chimney above the fireplace is full of cold outside air. Cold air drops, so you got a downdraft. So you light your flame. What happens is you light your flame, you get going. Obviously, you're going to create a bit of smoke, and the cold downdraft that's coming down the chimney is going to push on that smoke and push it and fill your room. It's going to push the smoke out of the fireplace and into the room of your home and fill your whole room with a whole bunch of smoke, which we don't want. So before I light my fire, I'm going to open up our flute. I reach in and I position that. I prefer to put it about halfway, and then I'm gonna go and open a window. There we go. And I'll wait maybe 10 to 15 minutes. And this way, the cold air that's in the chimney, now that the flute is open, can pour down and kind of fill the room with some cold air, Plus I got cold air coming in through the window, so the home is kind of being filled up with cold outside air. Basically I'm going to chill out the room a little bit. And what I believe is happening, and the room will eventually fill up with as much air as possible, and you're going to kind of slow down and eventually stop the downdraft of cold air that's coming down the chimney. And then the chimney becomes a cold, passageway route for the smoke to simply exit the fireplace instead of getting pushed into the room by the downdraft. We don't want a downdraft. The downdrafts are bad. I like to open everything up and get some air flowing and let air move around and let the movement of air kind of settle. I like to wait 10 to 15 minutes for this to happen. All right, it's been about 10 minutes now. It's a little bit chilly in here. That's okay. You always kind of have to start with a bit of a chill first, and then you warm up. So I'm gonna get my little propane torch here. Get some fuel going. And now the first thing I'm gonna light. Sorry, I'm just kind of winging things here. I'm gonna aim for our little candle at the bottom there. That's the first thing I want to light. It's lighting up, it's getting going, it's starting to glow. I'm just gonna add a little bit more flame. Help burn some of those kindling pieces. Alright, I'm gonna turn that off. I feel like we can have a few more, maybe 1 or 2 more kindling pieces might help. So I'm just gonna kind of stick that in there. I got a little bit of open space. I want to kind of enclose everything so that the flame can kind of spread thoroughly all around all of the kindling pieces. And as you can sort of see, you can see the flow of smoke is moving upwards and not into the home, which is obviously nice to see. You always start with smoke when you first ignite. You gotta get rid of that smoke. Okay, a couple of minutes have gone by. I see the flame is starting to get going. In my opinion, because there's a lot of smoke and the flame is kind of flickering, I think it's kind of lacking air, so I'm gonna try to open things up a little bit, create some gaps to allow it to breathe a bit better. When you see more flame and more smoke, then it's breathing better. If you see less flame and more smoke, then it might be struggling for air. And as you wait, it'll just get stronger and stronger. And as you see, no smoke coming out, no smoke in my home. Pretty much all the smoke went up and out through the chimney. I'm gonna wait another couple of minutes. All right, it's been a couple more minutes, maybe another 3 or 4 or 5 minutes. You can see the fire is much more well established. There's a good bit of heat coming off of this now. The room is starting to warm up. Just remember, when you start, put a good bit of kindling in there. Especially put the smaller pieces near the bottom, near the that very first flame that you create with that little candle piece, your little candle cube there. Keep things tightly together to kind of contain the heat, but not so tightly that you choke off the air. ignite, see how it goes, keep an eye on it. If you think it's not getting enough air, loosen things up. If you think it's too wide open, you know, kind of bundle things a little bit more tightly together to kind of to help contain your heat. And the fire's needs of how tightly or loosely your pieces are, its needs may change, so you just keep an eye on it for the first couple of minutes and adjust, loosen them up or bring them together more tightly as you need, accordingly to what the fire needs. Try to promote the fire to grow as much as possible. It wants air, but not too much air, basically. Eventually, when all these little kindling pieces burn out, at that point in time, once all these small pieces burn into just glowing red charcoal, at that point in time is when I'll add a next piece of log, and preferably I'll throw in maybe another lightweight dude like this dude over here. This is pretty lightweight. It's a small piece. It's pretty finely split. I'll put this piece right here most likely be the next piece I put in. So I got two lightweight logs going in here. The lightweight dudes get going easier because as much as it looks powerful now, I don't believe it's that powerful. The only thing that's burning are your logs. I mean, mostly kindling is burning, sorry. And with only one medium-ish lightweight log burning. After maybe another 20 or 30 minutes from now, all the kindling pieces will be completely burnt through, and that's when I'll add in my my next lightweight log, and that'll get going easy because the only thing we have in there are burnt out kindling pieces. And eventually when those start to burn down, maybe an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours into this, that's when I'll put in one of the more heftier pieces like this dude over here. You pick it up, you can feel its weight. It's heavy, it's dense. You know, this is a really fine split piece. You can see the difference. I like to start with the lightweight dudes first and the heavy duty guys for later because they take more heat energy to get going. All right, that's how I do a fireplace. I hope this video helps for anybody who's thinking of using one of these. Please leave any comments, any suggestions, and thank you for watching and have a great day.